the first row in the lower
I had to
parking
do a
lot?
boundary adjustment.
That,
And put a.
Yeah.
I see they're building like a road out back.
yeah,
That'll be parking, but do they own that first row down at the mill?
They were trying to deal with the board down at the end.
Yeah. I was like, how the heck they're gonna put all those in there? They're gonna be little tiny ones.
Oh, yeah.
seems to be the trend.
It's gonna be
What
like.
do you need? What do you need?
I mean, you know, love.
One bedroom apartment, you can fit like 20
above
Mexicans in there.
Cleanos, you know, one bedrooms, Sonic one bedroom.
Glass, one bedroom,
You know,
like what?
Proposal in the next dollar, a lot of one bedrooms, and to be honest, up until I joined this board. My mind thinking one bedrooms, I'm like, why would you need it, but that's the demand that's out there right now.
We did the project over Abishon years ago. And that was two bedrooms, two efficiencies, and all the rest were one bedroom apartments.
Yes,
Well, I think you gotta get a trustee owner to propose the project to know what the hell they need.
Right.
Like, but they know better than we do.
Well, right, and all of them are asking for the one bedrooms, which I just wouldn't have thought, but it makes sense, that's the
Well,
demand right now.
Well, if you're doing that, you're keeping out all the kids. So you've got a more mature building. Maybe it's taken care of a little better, you know what I mean?
Or you're getting, you know, the individuals that don't have families and.
Norwich put fast rules and stuff like that, you know.
Good.
Yeah,
I'm gonna go.
there's some weird setting about getting that one display there too, but this will work for tonight.
I don't think we got it.
That was a lot of work for nothing.
Well, we can see on a little screen over here. Thing.
No, that won't really matter unless we get somebody online, which right now we don't, so.
Okay.
I figured no point in beating that to death.
Ready.
Well, actually, yeah. I was hoping that I guess. Our
The main event,
main event is not here.
do you want to bring it or not? All right.
I talked to him a while ago. I thought we were all square about tonight.
Is that my neighbor?
Pardon?
My neighbor
The
so,
Robinson Hill,
Yep.
Robinson Road, yeah.
yeah. I just found out there's a kennel operation over there. When they move in. I gotta go, what happened to my neighbors?
Why can't?
I'm gonna make a quick phone call.
All right. Yeah, like these are coming on the, by phone, I'm.
Right, they've got a laptop and a internet connection.
Or just on a phone at this point, it's just what you want,
Yeah.
it's straightforward.
Yeah, we
Talk
don't
about it.
necessarily need to.
Yeah, you don't need to be here with a pointer.
What happened to the stall
Have you
running
seen-
down here is the train roads?
Have you seen this though? Have you?
What happened to that?
I have not seen anything. I finally got this last week,
You know,
late last week, so I
When they
go,
ran into some problems?
kind of curious what
Oh, good.
is proposed to be happening over there.
I was amazed at how many apartments they wanted to put in there.
It'd be a nice building,
Yeah.
really nice building,
Oh, you also Dollar General,
yeah,
you want to get that going.
They gonna have any parking?
yeah, plenty of it.
There's quite a lot there.
They're gonna put an underground garage under it?
No, all above. all above
That's a
that.
new trend. It's like if you go to like Burlington, anywhere like that, Williston, South Burlington. Every building they build for housing now, the parking garage on the first level
Yeah, but then you gotta put an
or under it.
you gotta the elevator itself.
Yep.
If you. More than like, if you 3 or more floors vertical, you gotta have an elevator.
Yeah.
So that's where the big bucks come in.
Oh, yeah. And good luck getting an elevator guy now. All the big companies are gone.
Mitch, no luck?
No luck.
All right.
So, sorry about that.
Well,
Say, let's get this party started.
all right. Well, let's do a roll call. Let's get going here. I'm gonna go 7:08. We've got eight minutes of technical difficulty and lack of an applicant, and let's get going. So this is the Town of Northfield Development Review Board meeting, Thursday, May 28th. And it says 7:08 and change, agenda says roll call. Mr. Hill,
Here.
Mr. Begor,
Present.
Smith is here, Mitch is here, we're missing Brian Massey and
Joel emailed me today to say he couldn't make it, and I haven't heard from
Brian.
Brian. I did hear he was by on earlier this week looking for a copy of the materials So he didn't email me telling me to put one up for him, so I didn't, and so
Gotcha.
he was at the select board meeting, I think Tuesday night.
Yeah,
So
he was, and I talked to him about being here, and he said he'd be here.
We will scold him appropriately in due time.
You will appropriately chastised by the chair
Yes.
when appropriate.
I second that.
So we have, let's take a look at the minutes of April 23rd. I reviewed it, I say that you misspelled Mr. Hill's first name in the election of officer section. Two L's.
Oh, say,
That's all I had.
did I spell somebody's name wrong or
Oh, just the board.
give them the wrong name completely?
Right.
Nobody's gonna.
I did not catch that, but I had no edits.
Yeah.
From my,
Joel Delarry, Bill Smith, Elroy Hill, Bill Smith, Joel Delarry, Elroy Hill.
2 L's.
Elroy with two L's in the third line there.
Oh, one L.
There you go. Exactly.
Thank you.
All right. Oh.
Detailed matter, right?
Hey, Bet, anybody have any comments or to approve the motion to approve the minutes? of
I'll make a
April
motion to approve.
23rd? Please.
Seconded,
All right, all those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Approved, abstentions, all right, we're moving right along. New business. Ania Cervantes has applied for conditional use approval for seasonal use for property at 202 Richard Robinson Road, excuse me. Host weddings and other events. Temporary use of tents as needed, that packet over there. May to December. Further, if you have that. We must have other copies of this around, right? It's, Miss, you have any other copies of it?
I've got extra copies if somebody wants one.
Oh.
Thank you.
Here you go. I didn't speak up earlier, so, but I will mention, oh, I should I don't remember if I turned on recording, so hang on a second.
This is the original, right, with Stan?
Yeah.
We have a sign-in sheet back, I'll ask you to sign in just so I can get my minutes accurate.
Richard Robinson back then. I have it, I've read through.
Okay. Well, we can throw it back this way, but
there's another one here if you want it.
No, I'm good.
Ah,
All right, I didn't have anything that stood out to me, so.
no.
Bear with me one second.
There,
I can only get my cursor to show up on this screen, not on this one, so.
So if you right click display settings,
Well, it's kind of hard to do this conditional use without an
yeah,
application.
why aren't you the guy setting this stuff up when you get here? Mr. Techie,
That's a day job.
I'll accept a volunteer, if somebody can opt,
so you right click, so where's your display settings? Cause you're an extended desktop.
right, I'm gonna get out of here. Right click here,
Display settings, yeah.
now it's down here on my screen, but my
Exactly.
cursor's still up there.
Yep, so see how it's 1 and 2? So you got
Yeah.
an extended
It's gotta be
display,
temporary.
My problem is I can't click
right?
on here because the
So-
cursor is on, I can't get the cursor to show up on this screen.
So go left with your cursor.
Oh, you think they're side by
Now go-
side?
Now go right. Go right, ta-da.
and then magically appears.
Now it's on your screen, right?
Nope,
I don't see it yet.
he's back up top.
I'll let Kevin have a look at that. There's supposed to be a setting to display both screens, but I couldn't find it. I'll let Kevin have a look at that.
Okay, well, again, I have questions for our applicant, but they're not here, I don't.
Yep.
You know,
Well, I would,
Parking, lighting.
in procedures to table.
You got a table?
That's why I'm here.
So it's all, so, yeah,
I mean,
You go far enough to the right?
you can go far enough.
Left,
left.
left, the other right.
Happened across the road from me.
Right, how much
Yeah.
noise, parking,
Across the road,
lights?
yep, right across, so.
Park right there.
I think
actually,
if you
right
scroll
there,
down,
right
there's more
across
display
there,
settings.
So
Yeah.
that property used to be mine right there on.
Maybe I'm
before I
wrong.
Sold it to, Denzel,
I just,
but, yeah, so I
want to
Well,
cancel.
well, that and traffic coming out of there,
I'm
there's
just
been
gonna
quite a few accidents in that
minimize
area
everything.
because it merges right there. And I've
So
had more
right
accidents
here.
than, I've been there only 23 years, 24
Display
years,
settings.
so, and, yeah.
Display.
I wonder why my dog's barking, there's nothing out there, buddy, I go, okay, there's red lights, there's blue lights, okay, another one, okay.
Well, I think,
There we
I
go, down
mean,
there's
not,
places.
not taking.
Multiple displays.
Yes.
committee, the board, but I would say that those are definitely factors we need to hear about, and conditions we can put on things. Are things like, you need to have someone from traffic control if you're having an event.
Well, that's it.
If they're gonna be lighting, how late's it's gonna be,
Mhm.
where is the parking? You know, are you gonna be,
Well, what's the noise
Walking
ordinance
up
for
and
Ashland?
so.
There we go. Sorry, that's the wrong one.
All that too, and,
There we go.
Hey, that's,
like the
that
parking
shows
lot
up
is
now.
right next to the brook that comes into my
The large,
pond, so I'm just, yeah, a lot of things, so.
enlarge, hit that right there, the double arrow, that'll
Yeah.
enlarge it, I think. There we go.
My work.
God, they got me a video.
Now, let's see if I can find my record setting here.
Good job. He knows his job, that's pretty good.
Don't talk about my capabilities.
Someone might actually wanna use yours. Well, he knows how to do this.
Those that know. No.
Lori, it is recording already, so we're good.
Good. All right, well, I guess we're not having an applicant, we need to table this.
Yep.
Fortunately. So, you need a motion to table it, or we just gonna table it?
I think we could just by acclamation table the application.
Application, hopefully they'll show up next month. All right, moving on to other business.
Okay, so that's pretty much done with me then.
Yes, sir, we're done. Hopefully next month we'll have a conversation about the property and what they wanna do it for and what conditions they need to put on it.
Yeah, and if you see your adjoining property owner, you
I
maybe coordinate if
apologize.
they're gonna make the meeting or not.
Yeah, there you go. You could
Hey, you're gonna go, cause I was there.
together, maybe if it's all friendly and stuff.
You kidding?
No, I didn't know my other neighbors moved out. That's like, oh, they moved out, okay.
I apologize for that. I thought I had confirmed their attendance, but maybe I failed to do that.
I don't think you feel
You know where they went wrong, is when they made that.
Things happen.
I was gonna say, I haven't been on board very long and I've seen it.
Yeah.
They kept that was closed because of them, or
It's
they
fine.
didn't think of.
Yeah, that's, unfortunately, then of course the previous.
Okay,
owners
So,
are-
any other, you said you had some issues.
That's what I'm
or-
saying.
Yeah,
Yeah, they.
It'd have been a much better place to come.
Guys,
back.
can you-
And, and
And
that,
that
Guys,
so,
hold on. If we're still recording technically, so. move
Okay,
the
guys.
Conversation a bit away if you want to, or.
thanks, guys.
No,
Thank
next
you.
month. Thank you very much.
Just give me a heads up.
Hopefully next, fourth Thursday of June.
Hey, Doug,
hang on a second.
well, we can give you the date for the next zoning board meeting, just for awareness.
Okay.
Thursday, June 25th, 7 o'clock.
So if they show up,
Same place.
same place.
I'll make sure next time.
Yeah.
Anyway,
So,
7 o'clock.
that's it.
we're
7 o'clock, yes, sir.
Okay, thanks, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Let's
Enjoy
see,
your night.
Thank you.
we're on other business. You said you had some things. to-
Other business, yes, don't tell me. Mark Fournier is here. He is potentially interested in the property at 35 Pleasant Street, which some time ago, I think Kevin even asked me about. There used to be a mobile home on that property and they took it down. It used to be Scotty B's place.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
And for your information, here's a handy little flood map of the property.
Yeah, they made a movie about that. A river runs through.
There's one more for you.
That's it, only the first like 100 feet.
And this map shows that the mobile home that used to be there, one corner of it just slightly encroaches on the special flood hazard area.
Okay, when you have, what's one of it, red, the gray,
There's the red crosshatched area, which is the naughty zone.
right? And then there's a red zone without cross hatching and then.
I
there's a
believe the
gray
red
area.
without cross hatching is often called the 100-year flood zone, floodplain, or it's really 1% annual chance of flooding, which
Yeah,
is gonna happen more than once in 100 years. And the gray is 0.5% annual chance, which is often called the 500-year flood
Yep.
plain.
Yep.
And what I'll also show you is we've got a section of our floodplain regulations, which honestly need to be updated, and the planning commission is trying to work on that. And here is a
that's their job.
little cheat sheet that shows you what sort of development needs what sort of okay. And the special flood hazard area, again, is that red crosshatched area, which not a lot of stuff can be done there.
Right.
Right, so no new principal structure.
And then red, then just plain red on this,
I think that's the floodway.
that's the.
I think these are in decreasing order
Yeah.
of severity,
Okay, yeah, it makes sense. So then FEH zone,
would be the
gray.
gray, I believe.
Okay.
And again, these are a little out of date. We really ought to update this to make it a little more neater, but anyway,
No new principal structures in any of those.
yeah,
But if your structure is outside of that,
Right,
Yeah.
the structure,
Right.
different story.
and as I look at this, there's like a kind of an odd little green color, is that the property line or? Oh,
what are you looking at?
I'm looking.
I think that's like a,
Just
I think that's the, I think that's the
I look at the
photocopy.
Driveway,
You're talking about
I think
this right
it's a
here? I
photocopy.
think that's a
what
photocopy.
is that?
That's nothing.
Okay.
So the
Yeah.
property owner though is right on the lower side of it. From what I saw when I visited the property.
So I see that, you know, the guidelines and the map, but what is Mark trying to do with this property?
Well, so what Mark would like to do is.
I mean, before we can say you can't have a
He'd
new
like to get his
structure or
business
anything
out
like
of his
that, maybe you don't
driveway.
need one, right? So,
He'd like to get his business out of his driveway. I've outgrown my lawn. And so what I'm looking to do is, probably use the existing white garage, which is this building way down here for storage.
okay,
And then, maybe put up another building, but get rid of the crappy sheds and that big monstrosity that was behind his trailer. Cause the trailer is the white roof.
Yeah,
And then the other thing is that big monstrosity he built
yeah,
to hide his garbage trucks.
right.
And I honestly would like to, just use it for storage.
use the
basically-
monstrosity for storage or?
No, get rid of that, get rid of the two sheds in front of the garage. If you were to visit the property, there's the white garage. There's two like little sheds that are kind of crap, then this big monstrosity. And just put up like one metal building. That way we don't have to worry about if it did get wet, it doesn't matter. And just basically store stuff there, the generators, my electrical parts, my bucket truck. You know, my trailer, my tractor maybe. Just the things that are basically clogging up my lawn right now.
But the storage is prohibited
Right,
in all three of those areas.
so your storage, and I guess I'm just talking and thinking out loud more than anything. The only usable space for anything new
Is that little corner
is that corner.
Right.
Now,
for buildings,
for new structures
right?
and storage.
So that includes if I put a trailer there. If I parked a trailer there.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, because in a flood,
Yeah.
the trailer will go down the river, so.
Downhill folks.
Improvements to existing structures, P and C. So now we start cracking the door open a little bit. Because it says P as in permitted and C conditional use review for
Right.
existing structures. Regardless of what they look like. Unless they're hazardous in nature and a safety issue, right? Is that?
Yeah, well, that's it. Something I did mention to Mark is that there's a woman who is a river scientist for the DEC. I believe her name is Rose Watts. I've worked with her,
Yeah, I've heard the name, yeah.
and she's been pretty good about advising me of, hey, here's what hoops we have to jump through to do certain things. And the little thing that I ran into that I was a little unsure about clearly is that what I sort of explained to Mark is that typically a property has what is considered a principal use, and then accessory uses are sometimes allowed as
Right, like a
well.
house and a shed. The
Yeah,
house is.
usually a residence is a principal use. But what Mark was theoretically wondering is, well, what if I don't put a house on it? Cause I don't really need a house. I just want storage for my electrical equipment business.
Right, well,
So I wanna just put storage there, but not really run a business from there. And then I think, well, you know, maybe that could be allowed. And he said, you know, hey, my point is to make this property, improve the property so it has some tax
Right.
value rather than just be a.
So, for example, I haven't been over there in a while, is the trailer still there?
No,
Oh, that's mobile home still there, I mean.
no,
No,
that's.
that's been removed.
right,
And then, so now we're down to these existing
So there's that
structures,
big ass structure that they had behind the
Right.
trailer,
which,
two sheds in front of the garage, and then the white garage.
so I was just going down through this because I've never seen it before, so I was like, new principle, no, storage, no. But then you have 4 small accessory structures.
Yeah,
So
Yep.
therefore that, to me, without a definition of what small accessory structures is, cracks the door back open, going down through the list.
Yeah, that's what I was, yeah,
Right?
Well,
See, what the
so
problem
does-
is, I've been trying to find a place in Northfield to
Yeah.
open.
Ag
up
rate
business.
parking,
Yeah.
replacement more,
Yeah, there's plenty of parking there. moving
so fill grading, road maintenance, road.
But look at three though, improvements to existing, these are existing structures. Whether they're permanent or not, I don't know, but I know what you mean, there's like the little white garage down there, and then there's the big green
Right.
thing. That are existing structures, so. Could you use those for your storage, and if you needed to get improvements to them, you need to come here for a permit.
Right.
Or a conditional use permit.
Right,
and,
so,
Under three, that's an improvement to an existing structure.
yeah, and I did advise Mark that likely if this, and what I typically mention to people is that people are allowed to come to DRB and talk theoretical about things, but
Some ideas.
typically the DRB is careful to not indicate approval in advance of an actual application.
Because we haven't warned this as a meeting.
right,
So we're not
You guys
gonna
might come out of the woodwork either for you or against you, have no idea.
Right.
make a binding
So this was
decision
just a
or,
preliminary, this was just a preliminary thing that he suggested I do, because I don't wanna buy a property I can't use. I wanna keep my business in Northfield, but right now, everything I've tried to reach out to do is not available.
right,
So I tried the garage by the fall store, would have been a great place. They use it for storage, she doesn't wanna rent it.
right.
Yeah.
I tried, that 3 bay, 4 bay garage up on Bull Run, right there on the left. They're selling that property, but they don't wanna lease just that, they wanna sell the whole property.
Yeah, the old town
I
garage,
checked on Freight Yard Way, because they have a couple old buildings out there that might be in my price range. And they don't wanna lease those.
Right.
So I'm running out of places to check, so then I saw this was for sale, and I thought, oh, well, what if I could put like a metal building there and have storage? And
So-
it's not,
right, no, it's a great conversation, and,
but I'm not gonna
To me,
buy it if I can't use it, so.
Would
no,
you use that existing green building for storage if
So-
you had to adapt it?
So that big building, believe it or not, is a wall. With a small roof on this side that kind of overhung the trailer.
Yeah.
And then a small roof on the other side, maybe a little bigger, that was an overhang, and it's all open.
Yeah.
It's not a building, and then on one end of it, I think it's a little like. I'm not gonna say office, but
Yeah, that was his.
Yeah. yeah, whatever, there's, on the end is that little room. It's not really a building,
it's a small roof and
Right.
a wall.
it's a big room.
but let me ask you this,
On a wall,
it's an existing structure,
yeah,
right?
Improvement.
And three is an improvement to an
That's what I
existing
was getting at.
structure.
yeah,
Improvement
could be put up another wall to make it a building,
could be it could be a lot of things,
yeah.
for what that's worth, right?
I think what I'll caution is I think that the state's floodplain regulations, not stuff that I made available to you to review right now, but I think elsewhere it does say that they consider an improvement to be something that increases the value of the structure by 50%. So I think they call it a substantial improvement. So
Well.
if you've got a
couple
house
of
that
walls,
you
it
need
won't
to
take much,
renovate, if you're gonna
right?
spend 50% of the value on the house doing improvement to it, then that triggers additional review from the A&R or the EDC, I think, but anyway,
So to find out what that structure is
Yep.
worth from the town's perspective, that would be, it must be in the town assessor's office.
Right.
Yeah.
The Richard's office will say
10,000,
what that
15,000,
building is
whatever it
valued
is.
at. And then you could maybe make it, before buying, you can make an assessment perhaps that, oh. That's only gonna take me X number of dollars, I could do that and not trigger.
Not trigger a full,
I haven't-
State review.
I haven't touched base with Rose recently, but other people have asked about this property and about the ability to recite a dwelling on it, and nothing has moved forward, just because they'd have to move it not on the existing slab, but move the slab out of the special flood hazard area, and nobody's pursued that. And actually, one thing I have not remembered to check yet for sure is whether, I believe this is on town water, but I don't know if it's on town sewer or not.
Right. And then the big issue was whether it has to have a residence on it.
Yeah.
Because that was what the realtor told me, is it had to have a residence, and then it could have a business also, because of the zoning on that street.
Yeah, I'm not.
Well, you're not running it as, wouldn't be running it as a business, like customers coming in and.
No, there's no customers.
We running your, doing your paperwork and, sending bills out from there, it's a place to store your equipment.
Yeah,
And you,
and
you can
parks,
knock everything down and put grass there and never put anything back there. I mean, that's your right.
but there's no value in that to me, obviously.
No, I'm just saying like, for the realtor to say you have to have a primary residence.
No, but if you wanted to, they said to contact him because the way they read it was if I wanna put my business there, then it has to be a residence.
So
with
they're
business
saying that your business is an accessory,
To the
like
rest.
a home occupation or.
Because of the zoning on the street, they suggested I contact.
That is a little bit of a gray area to me. I'd have to
Yeah.
do some digging on that too. Yeah, it does seem silly to say you have to have a residence in order to have
Have
a business structure there.
That's why I think you're under three there, which is improvements to the existing structure.
Yeah, and then for me, you know, storage, that's pretty general, right?
Yep.
What's the definition of storage? Because it says no storage, but if you've got outbuildings that you have stuff in, isn't that storage?
Yeah,
So,
Yeah,
I
if you
mean,
have
I might be digging a little
That might be
deep,
something for the planning commission to look at when they.
Yeah, I may have-
That
Right.
doesn't help
Yeah.
them today, but.
that's what
but then the other one is small accessory structures, okay?
Yeah.
Small accessory structures are permitted.
Yeah.
What is the definition of that, right?
Yep.
Because it might fit well within the
Yep.
means of him saying, hey, I wanna throw up a metal I wanna take all the crap out,
But
I wanna put up a nice
but
metal
accessory
building,
Structures.
Yeah.
but I don't know how big,
Yeah.
Addressed separately.
right?
You know,
If I can, or-
Montpelier, like I do a lot of work in Montpelier and in Barry after these floods, right? So I'm well familiar with the FPE and the regulations on that. I mean, we've set up lasers before in the street, measured floodplain level.
Yeah.
Put panels and heat pumps and stuff in and I'm well aware of all that stuff. And so typically you can have a building, but everything in it would have to be, like if I put any electric in it, it'd have to be above the floodplain. Right? And a metal building would be key because it wouldn't be damaged by water. If water hit it, you could clean it and it wouldn't mold, you know?
Right.
Obviously, you want to put a wood stick building there, that'd be done, you know?
Okay.
And so I know some of those rules, I just don't know how it pertains to this particular property, and before I try to put any kind of investment in it, I wanted to make sure that it's even viable.
Yep, I understand that, and I think likely what I'm gonna do is reach out to Rose and discuss this property again and, you know, just make sure that that my understanding of the floodplain regulations is accurate and that I'm not giving people bad advice about what might be possible to do. So,
Yeah, I mean, if we're following this chart.
Right.
With definitions in some of these areas. He could be right on the money or it could be way off. I don't have enough.
I mean, to only have this one corner be usable is kind of,
Well, if it's a quote, new principal structure, I quote, yeah, that's where it's gotta go.
Right, but if
Right.
no
If
one's
you're-
living there,
right, but I can put a structure there easy for storage, but then I can't park anything there.
No,
Well, you
I-
can do that, it says at grade parking, you can do it under line 5, at grade parking, you can park there, parking what, doesn't say.
and for you, you're not gonna have a principal structure, as I understand it, because no one's living there. Principal
Right.
structure is a house.
Yeah.
What you're doing, without getting into the details of it, to me, sounds like improvements to existing structures, possibly. And small accessory structures, new metal buildings, I don't know the size.
Yeah.
So it sounds like you're totally, what you'd ultimately like as an end game is 3 and 4. Where with the small accessory structures, you can put the stuff that you have for your business inside them. So you don't need storage. You're not putting storage
Right.
units or storage mechanisms, racks and stuff. You're toting between 3 and 4. Is what I see.
and I will tell you that I have talked to. I think the last time I dealt with something like this, it was, either Ned Swanberg or, another fella was
Patrick,
no, Peter, it'll come to me later, not important. The person who was Rose Watts before Rose Watts, but anyway.
yeah, I thought it was Patrick Flood.
That's a name for a flow guy.
I kind of think it was Ned Swanberg, but anyway, what
You're talking about the river engineers?
no, it wasn't our river engineers. Oh,
Okay,
no, Ned was the regional permit specialist.
okay.
The other guy it's not important. Anyway. The advice that I used to get about an accessory structure was that it had to be securely anchored and it had to have flood venting so that if water came in, it could get back out again, and I have some stuff from the flood regulation stuff, some guidance that basically says you can go to Home Depot or somebody and buy louvered flood venting, or you can do things like get those concrete blocks and put chicken wire on them so that it's open and vents. And basically what they said is you're supposed to vent on at least two sides, and for there's a certain number of square inches of venting you need for every square foot of the structure, so that if it's a 100 square foot shed, it needs
Right.
certain number
I've
of
seen that
inches of
twice, once in
venting.
Moretown,
So the one,
We gave a
at that
permit,
monstrosity.
we gave a permit to the guy that wanted to rebuild his garage over just downstream from this on Water Street,
okay,
north of the stream on Water Street.
okay,
And it's gone now.
yeah,
But we made him put these vents, louvered vents
Yep.
on the bottom of his garage, upstream and downstream of it.
Yep.
In the event that water came through there.
yeah, and there's also rules about, you have to elevate any electrical systems out of the,
Well, that part.
2 feet over the FPE.
yeah, they don't wanna be like at in the floodway area.
Basically be 2 feet over the dark
Yeah,
river without the
exactly.
slashes. What it would be.
Yeah, and depending on what kind of thing we're proposing, we might be required to find out what the base flood elevation is for this structure and find out what this, how far below grade this is from the base flood elevation, or 2 feet above it, so we know how high things have to be elevated to be clear. But anyway,
Well, another thing is, you look at the chart, it talks about filling to get to that level.
Yep.
Right,
Is
right.
permitted. So what do you do after that? Now, is the color changed of that section of the map? I don't.
Yeah, I mean, if you.
Well, right, if I was to fill in a section with fill.
Yeah.
2 feet, does that now not, is that now not the rest?
Right,
That reads.
that's a good question, right? It could take you completely out of that flood zone because I don't know, but it's a.
But then it's not worth it to me, right? So there's
No, but
a lot of things to think about.
I think there's options here until they start proving otherwise.
so anyway, I just wanted to let Mark come and chat with you guys, and
I get, you don't wanna take a flyer on this and.
yeah, I'll
Own the big enough hope, as they say.
Yeah,
I'll
So I
follow
think-
up with Rose Watts and get some feedback from her, and I'll be in touch with you, Mark, just to let you know if there's,
Alright.
if we've got some sense that there's a,
and maybe we need the FPE, because what if the FPE was 2 inches?
pardon me?
I said, maybe we need the FPE, because what if the FPE in this red section was 2 inches? Cause it goes by the sea elevation, right? So they'll say the FPE is 722 feet. And if that's at 720 feet,
Yeah, we actually do have a map that does show the
yeah, every town has one.
flood elevations of
FEMA.
along the stream, so we'll look into this.
Yeah, after 2011, things got tracked a little bit better,
Yeah, we don't know real that it is now.
so especially that area of town.
Well, when Cross Brother Dam goes away, water level's gonna drop there anyways.
That's another good point, but
And does that-
they won't
does that
come back
change
for a
that?
decade.
Yeah.
Who knows?
It should, because they're shaving the top side and the bottom side, so the whole.
They're taking that dam out this year, right?
Right,
Yeah. Cross Brother Dam supposed to be going out this year, and once that's down, once that's gone, the water level on that river is gonna drop.
Hmm.
It's gonna make a difference to its flood problem.
Water would flow better, so it would have to be less of a floodplain. So does that go away, in other words?
Yeah.
Cause the reason this river floods is because it gets backed up by the Dog River.
right.
It hits the Dog River and it can't do anything.
Yeah, well, Irene, I think
What was it?
that piece of property, I think was at least 20 to 24 inches underwater at that point,
Yeah.
at peak, because at the end of the street, it was 4.5,
Mhm.
so. So it does flood.
That
and
bridge
we
never
have
went under.
Seen it,
Pleasant Street Bridge never went under.
water went
That's
over
right.
it,
No, it didn't,
No,
no,
no.
Pleasant Street?
no, not that bridge that comes off Union
It's not
Street.
underwater.
There was a big dam there from the stuff that hit the bridge and it went right around it.
That's right. That being said, is That's probably the only
That's the
reason,
fact.
cause I'm like, I know the water was above that further down.
Yeah.
But, so wash it out both
Yeah,
sides.
it dammed up on the thing and went right around it.
But it was there,
Well,
it was there,
I'm gonna keep this moving along.
yeah.
Just because it segues nicely into this, I'm gonna give you a little packet. This is likely gonna be on the DRB agenda next month. The town is working with the Boys and King on a sidewalk project along part of Water Street. This doesn't show exactly where that is, I don't think, but I did get an email from Rose Watts, and actually, if you look at the second page, it's a repeat of this chart here. And she said, oh, it's a little bit of a gray area, but the sidewalk project could be considered road maintenance or road improvements, and gosh, maybe it ought to have some review. And I talked to her and said, it does seem like it's something they're planning to do later this summer. It's not imminent, but I sort of thought it does seem like in the interest of transparency, maybe we ought to have a hearing for this and just find out what's being proposed. And, because it's a town project, we're gonna waive the application fee, so there won't be a fee to anybody, but it'll just be sort of like the dam removal project. We just have a public hearing, and if people want to know what's going on, they can come and ask questions and find out. And so I think this will likely be on the agenda for next month. I'm gonna be talking to Amy Rutledge from Du Bois and King as their engineer working on this project. We've had a quick phone call about this and said, yeah, let's talk some more about this. So but I figured I'd give you guys a heads up that this will probably be something we discuss next month. And the other thing I've got is that this was presented to me a couple of years ago, but I never got the application. Stuart Hallstrom owns, I think the grand list says it's 12 acres, but in fact, I think it's more like 10.8 acres up at the top of Hallstrom Road, right where Union Brook Road hooks to the left. Bruce Hallstrom was for the first property. Bill was on the board at that time. His daughter, Alyssa Fillion, came and got a permit to put a manufactured home, mobile home on that property as an accessory dwelling unit. But he's now proposing, he's actually talked to me at the time about wanting to subdivide, but he never got a permit to me, and he's back now and wants to do that. So he's got apparently a 10.8 acre parcel. And I actually have talked to Rob Townsend about this. He's gonna get a sketch to us, but, and I got an application already, but it's a 10.8 acre parcel. So it can be divided into more than 5 acre lots, and that will likely be on the agenda for next month. So at that, couple of other things that are going on that I'm trying to dig into a little bit is, let's see, to jot these things down. I actually know what they are, but, a month ago or so, Sambles, they had put signs up on their property announcing that their food truck in the backyard was serving food Monday through Friday from like 4 to 7 or 4 to 8. Seafood, burgers, all kinds of stuff. And I said,
It was good.
well, I'm sure it's good, but that seems like at the very least, it's a home occupation there.
Yeah,
I think-
and they move up to Joe's Pond already, so it's kind of a moot.
Well, I don't
For now.
know if they stopped doing it or what. I'll have to,
No, they're at the Derek Joe's Pond now.
They do pop-up food truck for 3 weeks before they go to their permanent spot is, I think.
so I'm
Yeah.
gonna have to crack down on them and say, hey, you can't be just operating this when you want to, if it's, I mean, and it does look to me like they've got a permanent food truck in their backyard, and if they're serving food out of it, the Department of Health probably, maybe they've got a permit with the Department of Health, but if they don't, they probably ought
I
to.
think they have one for
They
the truck
probably-
itself.
I don't know, but.
They may be doing what they're supposed to.
Restaurant.
Right, I was gonna say Bob's run a few restaurants, so he
Yeah,
knows what he needs to do, whether he's doing it.
it's a fair question to ask.
He makes good food, I'm not gonna deny that,
It's a fair
but
question.
I don't want people just. I gotta
Popping
have the
up-
same rules for
popping up-
everybody.
Popping up food
Like,
trucks.
like pop up, like activities like that.
Yep.
Or someone says, hey, we're gonna do this to benefit the
Yep.
Girl
Well,
Scouts. Oh,
yeah,
okay,
well,
great.
like food trucks operate in a parking lot of a business like the hardware store or
It's like-
Chouinard's and things like that, and that's allowed.
Their backyard.
But I did, when a couple of the food trucks started up this summer, I did get some emails from somebody, hey, can I do that? And I said, current policy is that you can operate in the village, you can operate in the parking lot of a public space with the permission of the owner. Don't need a town permit, you're still supposed to have a agency of health permit. But then people started, I had in the past, somebody wanted to operate a food truck from his home on, it was Union Brook Road or Pleasant Street or something like that, and I said, well, that's different than in Kenyon's parking lot where there's ample parking and traffic. We don't want to be sending traffic to a private road, and like that probably would be frowned upon.
19 cars out Devil's Wash Bowl and now all of a sudden there's a
Yeah.
problem with traffic.
Perfect.
And
It's another fair statement.
Hey, we all go out there for permit.
You're not shutting down Diego's Chicken on Saturday, are you? 'Cause-
no, they can do
No, because
that.
they're in a parking lot.
They're things like that. I will also mention, a couple times I've come in on Monday and been told that somebody set up a pop-up operation on the village common and
Yeah,
they were selling chicken on Saturday or Sunday, and I said, oh,
somebody's gonna do it here, okay?
yeah, but anyway, that's
We'll ask for forgiveness.
that's frowned upon, because that's town property and
It's
it's not first come, first served. Anyway.
It's a different story.
A couple of other things that have come up that, and this is a really minor one, but I noticed that the Rustic Inn, now the Stick, they now have signs up advertising that they sell Gifford ice cream, which is fine, but they don't have permits for their signs. I'm gonna have to get permits for them. But
That's
something
your
I'm
problem.
that's my problem, not your problem.
It
Something
used to be the board's problem, that's why I know that.
Something that's a little more of a gray area is they have opened a pickup window.
Yes, they did.
So they've got another sign advertising, they've got a pickup window, you can come and get takeout. And we do make a distinction between a sit-down restaurant and a takeout, and I'm not sure if they need to get approval to operate a takeout window. I don't wanna be,
What's the
Well,
difference
what
between that?
What I'd say is two things.
Going inside.
Well, historically,
yeah,
we had a red kettle.
Yep.
That was a sit-down diner
yeah,
and an ice cream walk-up window.
okay,
Yeah.
yep,
In
yeah,
addition to that, the Common Cafe right here.
Yep.
Same scenario, sit-down restaurant, that sliding window used to serve prees.
okay, I'm
I'm
not,
not saying it doesn't
The
need to
fall
be
store
addressed.
had a creamy window.
I'm just saying.
I'm not
We've had
looking,
those likes and I don't know if I would wanna push this one.
yeah, I'm not looking for
Yeah.
trouble.
The
Yeah.
stick also has outdoor seating that's permitted, right? That
Yep,
same area.
they are permitted outdoor seating, yeah.
Yeah.
Food out there.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
I think it's,
I
Well-
think they're decent.
yeah.
And and I'm gonna mention a couple of other quick things just because they've come up, and one of them is not an issue for us, but possibly an issue for town manager. A lot of the businesses down on the common or on East Street have some outdoor table and chairs or do other things, and there's the
Who started that?
Burnsby.
consignment store
This is
put some of
Marriott.
their merchandise out on the sidewalk. And I've had some people complaining about
Getting around.
the amount of clutter out there, and somebody complained to me that somebody almost tripped on their sign. It's like, was the sign moving? No, it's like, well, that's the sign's fault, they tripped on it, it's like, it just did that, almost, yeah, but come on, but let's be realistic, but anyway,
I almost care.
no. What I did tell the person who complained about the clutter outside the consignment shop was that our previous town manager, Jeff Schultz, his policy was on a case-by-case basis, he decided what people could do outside their stores. And I advised the complainant that we have a new town manager, she may well take a different approach. If you've got thoughts, suggestions, feedback, please share, I'll pass them along to her.
And thrift store that was, the economy store back in the day would occasionally put some things out, but even more recent, when, Green Light, which is now a
Yep.
meditation studio.
Yep, the sanctuary.
Right, that was a thrift store, and they had racks out there back circa
Yep.
when East
Yep.
Street became a poppin' place back in twenty.
Yep. Yeah, but,
Flower
you know,
shop has done it on occasion.
Back
and, you
when
know,
some
there,
restaurant called the Naughty was over
Yeah,
there.
yeah, there could be an issue about, if things are, if people are pushing things too much, maybe we gotta rein it in, but
I think if we start hearing, they might have had a valid
Yeah,
complaint,
well-
but if, I mean, if any one of us or anyone else gets complaint, like if
Yeah.
people are really encroaching, so the sidewalk
Yeah.
is compromised,
Can't walk.
you know,
Yeah.
especially, I mean, the
Yeah.
sidewalks are wide,
They're taking
ADA
up-
compliance and everything else that goes with it. Someone with any type of,
yeah, and that was one of the complaints, was I don't think there's 24 inches for a wheelchair to get by there. I
It's
said,
36.
I didn't go with the tape measure, but that could be a valid concern, but I'll look
right,
into it.
I mean, if all of a sudden you got 18 inches to walk down the sidewalk,
Yeah.
it's right, it's a problem, but if they've got some racks out there and you have to go.
It almost
right-
sounds like you're saying who's in charge of like monitoring this and enforcing it.
Well, like I said, historically, the town manager has taken that on, and the select board has blessed the town manager to do it, and I'm not looking for more stuff to regulate, so if the town manager wants to do it, that's great with me. I don't care.
Well, we get select board approval right now, right?
No, he's not on the select board, he just
He goes and
has better attendance than any of the members. Anyway, the last thing,
Like,
also the consignment store. They've been announcing on Facebook and it was on Front Porch Forum that they're doing historically Memorial Day weekend is tag sale weekend. Everybody's got sales up. One of the principals of the consignment store lives on Prospect Street, I think. The street one up from the post office,
Okay. Elm Street, probably.
Elm Street, Prospect, one of those. Anyway. She's advertised a big lawn sale at their place. And they're advertising it as secondhand Judy's yard sale blowout, gonna have all their surplus stuff out in the lawn. Come and pay what you can by donation, and it supports,
Well,
that they are a nonprofit, I don't think is germane. I think they're still a commercial enterprise. But
So are they having that sale at the property or
at
at
the
the
property,
business?
at their private, and one of the neighbors complained that they don't want a bunch of traffic being directed up this, not quite dead end street, but low occupancy street, and
Gonna be,
indirect interfering with their
I don't,
peace and quiet.
Of their
Well,
residents.
What I mentioned, I talked to
Yeah.
Mary about this, and she said, I think they can have a lawn sale. And I said, that was my approach to it. I told the complainant
if I
that
put out 100 flyers in Montpelier, Barry and everywhere else, and I put them up on every, light pole that I could and blasted it from my personal social media page, I could hit the same amount of people seeing those advertisements as
Yep.
Judy is
Yep.
on that page.
Well,
I,
what I mentioned to and I told the complainant what, Mary and my early thoughts were, is that it's not obvious that they're not allowed to have a yard sale like everybody else. And they countered that, hey, this looks like an extension of their commercial enterprise. Wouldn't it be considered a home occupation?
No.
And I said, maybe. So
Well, I think that if they're doing it if they're every first Saturday, there was a reoccurring.
yeah, well.
Push up there.
Well, one thing they did mention was, I think they did a yard sale last year. And it continued for several weeks before they wrapped it up. And I said, fair point, I'll look into it. And what I am likely gonna talk to the owners and say, hey, I had some complaints about your blow up big yard sale, and I'm not going to say you can't do it this year, but I might decide that you gotta come and talk to the DRB before you do this again in the future, just to clear the air.
Right.
I just figured, might as well, full disclosure, let you know, some of your neighbors aren't thrilled with you, but
We can always say, hey, we don't want to get involved.
Yeah.
Hopefully,
yeah.
you can
but-
work it out.
Yeah, but anyway, I figured I'd at least let you know that that's on the radar, and, people
Because
are,
if we're starting to police people's activities on their front lawns, we've got.
Yeah.
No,
well, yeah, I don't,
We, when we just look throughout the town, that's
Yeah.
that's.
Well, yeah,
That's
that's
not,
what,
that's not your board's job though.
well, I did,
Your board
I
is not
explained to
about
the
development.
neighbor, sorry, I explained to the neighbor that I will try to make a decision about this, but I said I'm likely to err on the side of making a fair, accurate decision rather than a quick decision. I said, I don't think I can stop them from doing it, given that it's just coming up in a week. But I said, I want to be fair about this. And I'm likely to deliberate on this and do some more research before I make a decision. But I may say, hey, let's talk to the DRB about this. And they may say, we don't want to get involved in, you know, if there's not any clear issue, I don't know that we're gonna say, no, you can't do it, or,
Yeah,
but
I don't know of anything that.
I'm not trying to just stonewall people who raise a concern with me either. I say, hey, you deserve to have your say and we'll look into it, but.
That, isn't that more of a select board issue, not really a economic?
Well, I think the
development?
town has a policy that people can have a yard sale.
That's what I'm saying, it's not about development, and that's what your
Yeah.
job is, your job is
And, you know,
economic.
it's not
The
a
usual
zoning
premise
issue
of a
per
yard
se,
sale
unless,
is You have your private items you are selling.
unless someone is arguing that's an
As
extension of their
opposed
business,
Opposed to it
then
being a
maybe it's
business
home
model
occupation.
that includes a second location.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, one concern, and I will just, on a tangent real quick, I'll mention, I know this has happened for the last couple of years, it's probably gonna happen again this year, but for lack of a better word, the Morse's salvage yard up on Route 12. I forget what it's called.
Morris salvage yard.
Not Morse, it's just past, Doyon Road on the right.
Oh, the Martins,
Martin's, that's,
North Main Service.
ever expanding
Yeah.
vehicle.
yeah.
Okay.
They, before my time, actually got a permit from the DRB, or it was the ZB, zoning board of adjustment at that time, to have a small section of used car sales, but I don't think it was delineated how many cars they could have.
My time, 2007.
And
That was a long time ago.
yeah, but I don't think they ever said, put a limit. I think there have been some decisions I've seen where they said you could sell 6 cars or 8 cars or something, but
Yeah.
I don't think in that case they said you can limit it to this many cars, so it's pretty unclear, and they have in the past few years also had a little yard sale type thing right on the bank near their property. And my concern is they're operating that right off a state highway and people pull over and, I mean, like 3 years ago, one of the guys got hit by a motorist. She was drunk, but still, somebody got hit there and.
No, I was in a different place.
Yeah, that was out here.
Yeah, that
He was towing a vehicle.
Oh, I thought it was,
You're conflating, Guy Martin getting hit by a drunk driver with.
I thought it was at that.
No,
property.
it was, yeah, no.
Okay,
that
then-
was totally separate, he was.
Then I would track that, but
Yeah,
anyway.
you gotta mush them together there.
Yeah, but anyway, I do have a little bit of concern that the state seems to be turning a blind eye to them. Typically, you're supposed to get a section 1111 permit for operating a business that has an access directly off a state highway. And
Yeah.
they have access to their property off of Doyon Road. They don't use it. They access it right off of Route 12.
Well, the state functionally made the Barofio's permitted junkyard out next to Bruce and Penny's house
Yeah.
on Houston Street. They effectively shut that down
Yeah.
because the neighbors
Yeah.
got crazy about it. So
And, you know,
it
and
kinda
I,
comes down to what the neighbors are gonna do.
and just to the, and also just as anecdotal, but just to the north of the salvage yard or whatever we're gonna call it, they seem to have a mulch operation, and they got a huge pile of mulch, and people just pull over on the side of the road and fill up their pickup trucks with mulch. And again, I'm surprised that the state thinks
We
that's
might-
cool,
we might
because,
Vermonter started, man.
I mean, that's just asking for, that's asking for trouble, it seems to me, because that's just,
I don't know where to
People are-
start for that, because I mean,
people,
They've
the
been-
speeds are
they've
high.
been there since this was a very small, quiet town.
Yep. But-
And,
Well, they're,
and as far as I know, you know, when it was time for them to apply for the permits, they applied for the permits, they were given the permits, they're operating or should be operating within the bounds of those permits, but I
Yeah,
don't think there's details
Whether or not-
enough
Well,
where
I don't,
we can hold them accountable for things that.
Yeah, well, I'm not saying that this is something we have the authority to step in on, but I have talked to a compliance guy with the state and he said, yeah, that is a problematic business that it's not, they seem to be pushing the boundary of auto repair and a salvage yard and,
well, number one, they are not a salvage yard. Because they do not have a license to sell auto parts. And that's strict, that's guaranteed.
Mhm.
And intentional,
Hmm,
right?
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, no. You, if you're gonna sell used auto parts, you have to have a license to do it.
probably a salvage license or something.
Right.
And they do not have it, they do not sell, auto parts. They do have a dealer's license to sell cars.
Mm.
So. And also like with the, yard sale stuff that they do down there. Everything that they're doing is 50 feet or more from the road.
Yeah, but people are pulling off at the edge of a state highway,
Well,
that's,
But the other situation you got there is, you've got basically a full lane, you know, that where people pull to the side of the road and stop,
for a shoulder.
yeah, on the shoulders, they got, that's what, 18 feet wide, I think,
Yeah,
from the painted, from the white line to the edge of the blacktop.
Oh, yeah, it's a full emergency breakdown. like.
Yes,
yeah, but,
so that-
yeah,
that's
traffic speeds are pretty high along there though, but,
That's probably definitely a state issue. The state's not gonna go after.
yeah, I know, but it's for the state to deal with and they haven't, and I know it's not my place to say citizens arrest.
Yeah.
Well,
But yeah, but it does concern me that that's just an accident waiting to
It
happen.
has significant, when they purchased that empty lot there, you knew this was gonna happen.
Oh, yeah.
And it's just the Martin.
There's a reason why they bought it, right?
You know, if you can go to Roxbury or anywhere in Northfield that's owned by one
Yeah.
of their, that's what they do.
Yeah, people have
And
mentioned
that's
to me
fine,
that,
that's their style and I don't have a problem with
yeah,
that.
other places, salvage yards have been required to put a fence around their property and,
Right, but as long as they're not a salvage yard.
yeah.
And they're, you know,
Yeah, they're not selling
They're
it.
still
Not
working.
their
I know,
definition of
But storage of junk cars
Yeah.
is, we have 5 or more
Yeah, it
unregistered.
sure looks like a junkyard, but
Those vehicles
salvage
are
yard, but
registered.
yeah. But again, it's for the state to step into if they want to, and they
That's
haven't wanted to.
That's
so.
not a town ordinance, that's a state.
That's a
state law.
Yeah.
yeah,
Thank goodness we don't have to enforce everything the state tells us to,
Yeah.
be here all.
yes.
one thing I would suggest with this, Judy's, apparel or what have you. They can have their yard sale one weekend. But if it's gonna be continued, then you gotta get permit.
Yeah, like I said,
That's all.
if it's becomes a
So
recurring thing.
so as long as they know,
They're-
they can have a one.
Right, it's not someone selling their own personal stuff in their yard, it's a business going to a second location at some point.
yeah,
And if it stays like low key and doesn't upset the neighbors, it's fine, but if people start to get upset by it,
Yep.
traffic, then it's something we need to talk
Well,
about.
that was the complaint I had last fall too, is that they were collecting things for their store and they're having, I think they were apparently advertising someplace. People were coming to their house and apparently filled their garage and piled some stuff in the backyard and threw a tarp over it, and some neighbors complained to me then too that, hey, this is gonna turn into an eyesore, or
Running a
who knows if they're
business-
gonna
they're
track
running a business up here.
vermin or whatever, and yeah, it's sort of an accessory to their business and.
Yeah.
Yeah, it could be a concern and, you know,
It's
yeah,
storage for-
wasn't interested in dealing with it at the time. He said, oh, we'll monitor it.
and you do it,
We'll monitor. That means I'm gonna monitor. You're leaving.
if they have,
But anyway, so,
but that yard sale one weekend out of the year, that's fine. They start doubling them up, then they gotta get permitted.
There's the voice of reason right
but
there.
yeah, so
Makes sense to me.
I'll try to reach out to them, just let them know, hey, this is
Right.
where this
Don't
might
make
be.
it a thing, right?
Don't make it a thing.
Don't make it a thing.
Anyway, that's all my stuff for now.
And,
I'll motion to adjourn if there's no other business.
just a minute, we will get this signed.
Oh. It doesn't have to be part of the meeting, but any, discussion, any thoughts about the decision from last month, the home office in Northfield Falls, the law office?
I carry Cannon.
Yeah.
I shared a draft with everybody, didn't get any comments back.
Oh, I'm sorry,
That's fine.
yeah, yeah, sorry. Yes,
Should I come in and sign it tomorrow or something like
You
that?
can sign it right now.
Oh. Got it.
Oh, you got a pen there? That's good. I'll take my pen back. Okay, on the floor, we have a motion to adjourn. We're looking for a second.
Seconded.
There you go. And when Bill's done signing, he can call a vote.
Okay.
It's 28th.
All those in favor of adjourning, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, extensions. We're done.
Okay,
Howard.
I already mentioned next month,
I know.
25th.
2 hours.
Can I get that chart that was the?
Well, it was actually 52 minutes.
Just this one, right, yeah.
Or have a,
The slide we got.
have a copy.
Thank you.
Oh.
Alrighty,
I'll do some more research and we'll talk.
okay.
I like to have a half-hour meeting, so you know.
20 minutes is better.
I do. I think 12's rushing it, but I've done them.
Thank you.
12-minute meeting, you got it.
And then you're good.
Oh.
Don't